Aloha friends, Aaron from Hawaii Music School here, and today I'm going to show you 5 iconic licks from one of my favorite players. Now, it is not a big secret that I was heavily influenced by the Ka'au Crater Boys and Palolo, and that Troy Fernandez made a huge impact on my ukulele playing, and even my desire to learn to play the ukulele. I remember waiting for the next album to come out like everybody else, and I just wanted to hear what kind of solo Troy would play. And as soon as I saw the back of the CD and I saw all the titles on there, I'd be looking at him going, man, I mean, how's he going to play this? And it was one of those things that I came to look forward to seeing how he would pick over it. Troy was one of the guys that actually played through the changes, and he addressed the chord change. And I think that was one of the things that, for me, really made his playing very interesting. Now, it wasn't difficult to figure out because you knew where he was going, but the licks were just awesome. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. The 5 iconic licks that really got to me. So without further ado, let's get into the licks. In the On Fire album, there was a song called Opihi Man. And when I first heard that lick, I was like, what is that? I mean, I knew he was outlining a G, but the way he did it with the top string rolling, which was something that was a signature Troy Fernandez move, it was really cool because he did this thing where it was like, and it just rolled really smoothly. And so that was one of the ones that when I first figured out, I was like, oh, that's really cool. So I used it in a lot of different things too. But yeah, let's take a look at that lick. So what he's doing here is a hammer on from the 2nd to the 4th, and then he's picking the top string open. Then it's onto the 2nd string, and we're sliding from 2 to 3. And again, we hit the top string. Now we're going to hammer on from open to the bottom string 2nd fret. And then we're going to hammer on from the 1st to the 2nd, and again hit the top string. And now we're going to put our pinky over here at the 5th fret and pick that. So it goes. And when he plays it fast. Alright, so there you have it. That's that lick. And you can use that over a G chord. Alright, so the next one, you can't mention the Ka'au Crater Boys without mentioning Surf. That's like the song that got everybody going, dude, what the hell is this guy doing? And it was because of this lick, where he comes down from here and goes. That lick was another one of those signature Troy licks, where you instantly knew who was playing when you heard that. And what that was he did that lick in the beginning where it's, which is just outlining a C scale. But then he came up here and went, and then worked his way down the scale. And that was a really cool lick. That one was the one that was like, oh man, I gotta figure out how to play that. And I thought he was doing that because he does the thing with the thumb. But he was actually picking that and articulating it that way. Okay, I know I don't have dots on my fretboard, but I'll give you the fret numbers. Okay, so what this is 10, and then we're going to go to 8, then we're going to go to 7, 5, and play 3 twice. So, okay, so let's get a look at both hands. So what's happening here is I'm picking down, pull, and picking up. And Troy just did it with a little bit more speed. Alright, so there's lick number 2 from Surf. Okay, so on Changes in Latitudes and Changes in Attitudes, which is a Jimmy Buffett cover, by the way, Troy really emphasized the chord changes. And he did it in a unique way where he used the melody to outline the chord changes, which is kind of like, you know, I mean, credit goes to Jimmy Buffett for that, but Troy putting it on the ukulele was one of the coolest things too. It goes kind of like this. Okay, so we're playing the D chord here, and that's the top 3 strings. Now, what's happening is I'm kind of rolling it like that. Okay, so we're going to pick all the strings and then pick the bottom string twice. Now he's holding that the whole time. I'm not sure if Troy used his pinky or his ring finger. I use my ring finger. Sometimes I use my pinky. But what that is to roll down, 2 on the A. Now we're going from G to F sharp and back to G. Okay, now we're going to slide into the G shape. And what that was we slid in, and then we went to the 3rd string and then pull off. And what that is okay, so now we're going to go to the A. And what we did there was hammered on to the 1st fret. After we hammer on to the 1st fret of the 3rd string and pick the 2nd string, we're going to pick the 3rd string again. Now we're going to hammer on to the 2nd string, 2nd fret, off. And now we're on to the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. So it looks more like this. And then he does this little lick. What that was is we're hammering on and pulling off on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. And then we go up to the 3rd string, pick the 2nd string open, and then go to the 1st fret of the 3rd string. And then we repeat. But now we change it up. So what that was is, that's the same hammer on here. 1st fret, then open E, back to the 1st fret of the 3rd string. And that's a hammer on to the 2nd fret of the E string, pull off, and then we slide from 1st to 2nd. And, alright, so what that is alright, for lick 4, we're going to go to Guava Jam. So you knew we had to go to Guava Jam, right? Okay, so the thing I liked about it was his use of the shapes. Because before this, everybody was kind of doing this. You know, those shapes right there in the 6s. Now Troy actually opened it up and he was doing it this way. So, and to move the shape like that was like a new idea for me. When I was in high school, the Ka'au Creative Boys actually performed at this thing called the Hawaiian Jam. And my band was lucky enough to play at that too. And I remember we did the opening thing and stuff, and I went up afterwards and watched Troy play. And me and my friend Brandon were both ukulele players. We like went right up to the stage, and that's when I knew he was doing this. The whole time I was going. But when I watched Troy do it, he was doing this shape. And that was like a new idea to me. It was like, you know. It was like, wow, that's so cool. And I think for me it was more of a visual thing than anything. But it opened my eyes to the thought that we can break out of our little shape boxes. And so that's why this lick is on there. Okay, so let's take a look at that. Alright, so we started off with our first finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and our pinky is over here on the 7th fret, 1st string, and we're sliding into it. Okay, so I'm sliding from 2nd to 3rd, hitting the open G. And what that is slide in, top string, then I play the 1st string, and I'm going to pick the strings 4, 2, 3. Now I'm going to move it down to 1 and 5. And what that is 1st, 4th, 2nd, 1st. When we get down to C, we're going to pick 1, 4, 2, 3. So all together we have. Again. Alright, so lick number 5 is going to be coming from Brown Eyed Girl. Now this was on the Valley Style album. This song is what got me into the Ka'au Crater Boys, because when I heard the way that Troy played this, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd been listening to Van Morrison's version like pretty much my whole life. But when I heard that, I was hooked. That wasn't part of the melody line. It wasn't part of anything, but it just kind of came out, and it was one of those things where I was like, man, that just fits perfectly in the way that he was playing it. Now, they're playing in the key of F. Van Morrison did it in G. But the fact that he tagged that on there was just, to me, I was just like, man, that is, you know, like, it's so simple, but it's so perfect, if that makes any sense. And I was just kind of, I was taken aback by that, and I knew I had to learn this song. And so, let's take a look at that. Starting off here on the 3rd fret of the 1st string, 4 times. And then we're gonna pick it once and then hammer onto the 5th fret. And then the 1st fret, back to the 3rd. Now we're gonna go 3, 1 open, and then 6 times. And it's like this, like a. And we're gonna go 3 and 1 on the 2nd string, and back to 3, and then we're gonna slide up to the 5, and back to 3, 1. So all together. Okay, so I'm probably going to make a series out of this, and I'm calling it the 5 Iconic Licks. And so this was, you know, my biggest influence, Troy Fernandez. But in the coming weeks, I'll also be doing Peter Moon, Kelly Boy De Lima, and, you know, just a bunch of other guys that really, really influenced my playing. And so I hope you like this one, and I hope you learn these licks, because it kind of, for me, it made me look at the ukulele in a different way. And I really think that learning licks from other players is going to help you in the long run, because it starts making you look at what that lick did. You know, like what chord was he playing over, and what change is he trying to address. And so to me, it caused me to, I guess, think in a more musical way. So hopefully it does the same for you guys. Alright, so if you like the lesson, hit the like button below. And if you'd like to see more lessons like this one, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Also check me out on my website, HawaiiMusicSchool.com, where we go even more in-depth than we go here. And, you know, right now we have a 2-week free trial membership going on. So, yeah, sign up. Aloha, guys.